Welcome to Problem Solver Politics. I am your host, Cardinellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everybody.
And you may not realize it, but the government is allowed to spy on you directly and see what your internet browsing history is, okay? And there recently has been a vote to take that away. We were actually pleasantly surprised with the bipartisan nature of that vote, both Republicans and Democrats saying yay to passing a bill to take away this spying. But there's a couple people who really ruined the party. You'll notice an independent guy who's been touting his presidential bid is one of the few who didn't vote, and it lost by one vote. The government now can keep spying on everything you search through on your internet browser because of these four people, one of them who just asked you to make him president less than 6 weeks ago. Cody, tell us what's going on.
Pretty much what's going on. But here, we have on here the vote. So these, but really, I'm not going to say 41. There's only 40 people responsible. So here's the list of names on your screen of the people who voted yay and nay. And we're going to go through a little bit further what is this Wyden amendment. It is, at the top, you can see it listed as to remove website browsing information and search history from scope of authority to access certain business records for foreign intelligence and international terrorism investigations, which is like most legal. What does it even mean? I've always made the joke that, like, if guys show up to my house in a black van and just say, come with us, national security, it's like nothing you can do. It's like, you're done. The government is invoked. It's a matter of that. That's basically it. The government could say, we need to spy on potential foreign interests, so we're going to pull your search history. We're going to go through in here what some of the Senator's talking about in a second. But I want to just highlight first these names. You'll notice something fascinating here. Normally when there's something people vote on and you look at like an image like this, they show you who voted. Yeah. Basically red and blue. Like red yay, blue nay. Just you can swap them around. Like all red, all blue in one. Yeah. It's very bipartisan. I mean, it was a majority Republican Senate, so you can see there's still a majority of nays Republicans. Yeah. But look at some of the Democrats. By the way, these are Democrats who voted. Not even Democrats. These are Democrats and Republicans. Cracks me up. Republicans talk all the time. I don't want to be spied on, infringement. Oh, these social media companies. And you got Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, and little Marco Rubio lining up to say, how dare we stop these unaccountable FBI agents from just pulling search histories from people.
Well, look at the names on there. There's a lot of others. There's Mitt Romney there.
Mitt Romney, another former president. Dianne Feinstein represents my state. Why is she doing this? I don't want this. Who in California wants the government to be able to just pull your search history? But again, we're going to get to some of the more, what's really frustrating to me. We'll get down to 4 names at the bottom. Now, these are not voting. The reason why it matters that 4 people didn't vote, this vote would have required 60 yeses to pass. And I got 59. It was 1 away. Yeah. Who are these 4 people? Republican Alexander from Tennessee? Gotta admit. According to Vox's own reporting, they reached out to him. He intended to vote yes, but is under quarantine and couldn't make it to. Yeah. Which still is crazy to me. He can't just. He can't call in and say, "I vote yes." Like, what is this?
You can't tell me there's no constitutional mechanism for a sick congressman. I mean,
senator. I mean, what is this?
Or a sick senator, exactly. And so he's the only one where I give some kind of pass.
Well, I believe there's also something with Murray as well.
Yes.
Democrat, Washington,
you're right. I'm
similar.
sorry.
But there's 2 people that I'm going off Vox's reporting. I looked around a little bit more. When reached for comment, did not respond on where they were. That is Ben Sass, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
Republican out of, I wanted to say New England because I watch so much football. Nebraska, I believe.
Yeah.
And then we have Independent Senator Bernie Sanders out of Vermont. Now, the reason why I'm not gonna, again, you're not the only one who didn't vote. A lot of no's, so it's not like Bernie Sanders. But if Bernie Sanders had bothered to show up and vote, this would have passed. I'm assuming. I don't know. Maybe Bernie would have threw his hat in with Dianne Feinstein and Marco Rubio and voted against this. But I mean, look at the yeses. We'll get to a little bit more of what actually is. It's not actually that complex of a bill. It's just to remove provisions they had. Basically, the intelligence agencies would now need to get a warrant for something they didn't need to get a warrant before. That's all it's saying for search history.
Well, no. All it means is we're going back to these pre-Patriot Act rules.
Yeah.
Because the Patriot Act was so destructive because it basically allowed unlimited surveillance on U.S. citizens under the guise of foreign surveillance. But all of a sudden, the rubber clauses were so bendable, it just became domestic surveillance because there's nothing saying, oh, we're going to go search Cody the Oracle's search history, because after all, he might be following the Twitter account of somebody else who we know spoke to somebody who has an acquaintance that's part of a cell in Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, but
you can justify any amount of domestic surveillance based upon the fact that terrorism just exists.
Oh yeah, so
in the world.
Actually, we'll get to what they were talking about in the Senate floor. It is specifically a Patriot Act provision that lets them do this. But again, I just want to give some of these more names.
It was the Patriot Act that created the FISA court.
This was Kamala the cop voted in favor of removing this. Like, this was not a very, but this is what bothers me. We hear so much nonsense, and we're going to go through. Now, I have described this to you in a very specific way on purpose. We have leaving out certain ways, because I'm going to go through and show you how this was talked about in the Senate floor. Because I'm going to put a little bit of these people on blast for how this is going. So, sorry, got my links messed up, but we're going to pull this up, and this is just from the congress.gov website, and we're going to go through this. So, I'm going to go to the very top. Here we go. Now, this is a Republican Senator Daines out of the great state of Montana, I believe. Anyway, though, they go on and say, Mr. President, Americans want their privacy protected. For far too long, the Patriot Act and the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, commonly referred to as FISA, have been used to trample the civil liberties of American citizens. For Montanans, the right to privacy is so fundamental that it is enshrined in our own Constitution. He goes on to mention this. What happened to President Trump can happen to anybody for any purpose. Oh, sorry. This is what I wanted to highlight, because this is how they talk about this. The politicians talk about it. Say, yet the House bill fails to enact real reform to FISA that will actually protect the privacy of American people. We saw what a scornful government bureaucrats did to President Trump when they abused FISA to serve their political motives. Our own government spied on an American citizen, a political advisor to then candidate Trump with no oversight. I mean, what happened to President Trump can happen to anybody for any purpose, and that's a very serious problem. It really bothers me, because I know immediately when I read this, fair or not, if that is how this bill is characterized, I could see people opposing it. Oh, Trump's always... Why can't they just talk about it? And they do. They get into it eventually. They forget about the orange man. They talk about the reality of it, which is that American citizens, regular people, the actual bipartisan nature of this, I don't care if they did it to Trump allegedly, the bipartisan nature, they can just come and spy on your search history whenever they want. But why do we have politicians doing stuff like this? Because now all of a sudden, hey, if I told you about FISA warrants, you hear about FISA warrants in the news a lot, you hear about spying on... What? That's a separate issue. Why are we talking about this? Because now a very bipartisan effort stopped the government from just spying on your search history with no oversight and with no warrant, no nothing. They can just do it. That sounds awesome. But now we're talking about, I'm surprised I don't mention Michael Flynn in here, but I feel like that's what jams this stuff up.
Yeah.
That is why we have 10 Democrats. And what's even crazier to me, I saw a tweet, 10 Democrats. Why are 27 Republicans voting on this? If anything they say, if any word coming out of people's mouth is true.
Is limited government, yeah.
You literally have a Republican going up there standing for this bill saying that the reason why he supports it is because what they did to my president. And you're seeing Lindsey Graham and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell say, it's fine with us. Yeah. What is it? Do you guys care about privacy or not? I guess not. Well, I guess those 20 Republicans are like, man, we care about privacy when they're spying on our boy. But when it comes to a regular American citizens, I think we should reserve the right to just spy on your search history. Now, I'm trying to find the passage. There's a great moment here where the senator, I believe it was the senator from Montana, is upstage, and he's talking, he's like, American search histories is one of like the most private and telling things about an individual. Because it's funny. I mean, it's kind of... There's that classic, I think, Key and Peele skit where they're going through, like, they click on a search history and the guy starts sweating. And like every Key and Peele skit, it goes on for 40 minutes. So it's just not funny anymore. But the idea being, right, that's like a joke, right? Like, oh, no, not my internet search, not my browser history. Well, the government can steal that, and they do. And they want to stop it. But for some reason, you get the partisan mumbo-jumbo thrown in here, and it becomes absolutely ridiculous. I mean, looking at some of the names who voted against this, I remember going through before when we were getting ready, and you were shocked at this. It's like, what is Marco Rubio doing voting against this? If anything that guy talks about, you'll notice there was some Republicans that did stay pretty consistent with what they talk about.
Yeah.
Ted Cruz, definitely, I would imagine, with what he talks about, he'd have to vote against this. He did.
I usually don't like Ted Cruz, but my respect for him just went up. And I got to tell you, my respect for Marco Rubio and Lindsey Graham and Mitt Romney just plummeted, because here's the thing. They're always complaining about amendments and bills that are these massive pages long, saying, you can't give us a big bill and expect us to vote on it. You should do incremental aid for coronavirus. You should just have a bill just for stimulus checks and have a bill just for this, just for that. They always want it itemized. Dude, this amendment Number 1583 is literally 2 lines long and 1 complete sentence. And it says, should we vote to take away the provision that currently allows the government to spy on our citizens' internet history or internet browsing history? Full stop. I mean, there is not a simpler question. That fits on a YouTube thumbnail.
Yeah.
All right. That is literally that whole sentence.
Maybe
probably
minus 40 characters.
Oh yeah. That sentence is within characters of fitting on a YouTube title.
But again, another
all
thing,
right.
Well, we're talking. I don't want to get this forgotten. I really want to hear this. Why couldn't Bernie Sanders be bothered to show up and vote on this? Why couldn't he? Ben Sass is a clown. We know that. By the way, Ben Sass, another guy who couldn't be bothered to show up. This is what's crazy to me. Couldn't be bothered to show up and vote against spying on the American citizen. By the way, he recently won his primary by 50 points. Like, who are we? We're electing people that aren't even going to show up and vote. Like, look, I don't always vote for everything. I'll admit, we had a special election, didn't vote in it. Yeah. I don't think every American citizen is voting everything all the time. Voting's good, you should. Our senators should be showing up and voting, man. Like, the reason why we elect senators, the reason why our government's set up is literally for them to go up and vote for it. Like, that's actually the
reason why you're paid is because your job is to vote. It's not like you're a city councilman who is lay clergy, for lack of a better term, or who is basically volunteer. And it's like, oh crap, I'm on a business trip, I couldn't vote, because you're not getting paid as a city councilman, okay? You are getting paid. It is your only job to craft bills, analyze bills, get rid of bad old bills, and vote when the opportunity comes up on behalf of your constituency. And the fact that Bernie Sanders, the one that I find the most culpable, more so than Ben Sass, okay, is I've liked some things that Ben Sass has said in the past. He also got clowned on by Tucker Carlson for being afraid of Paul Singer, okay? But, Sass was 50-50 with me before. But I got to tell you, Bernie Sanders not showing up to vote on something as simple as that does most to protect the little guy.
It actually helps people.
It helps people.
It would stop the federal government from spying on you.
And it keeps those millionaires and those billionaires from manipulating our information to make money off of us. There's not a single person out there that's a Bernie bro, or a Bernie Sanders fan that should not be greatly disappointed in his performance, because there is no reason for him not to have been the 60th vote on that ballot.
Yeah. Well, also, let's check something else out, because what was he doing? I got to be frank. Can't tell you where he was and what he was doing. I don't know.
So let's look into it.
But what was the Bernie Sanders campaign or whatever, his team staff releasing at this time? Now, this is the official Bernie Sanders campaign account, but I wanted to tell you, it was around the same time. So about 24 hours ago, roughly 2 p.m. Eastern, roughly. Around the same time this vote was being finalized. What does Bernie Sanders do? Oh, he was tweeting about him and Biden's unity task force and the people, that they're going to be. It's not that he was getting no messaging out. That's what was coming out. Now, that's not his official Senate account. I don't believe he had anything coming out on his Senate account at the time. My point is this, though, is that these politicians, specifically Bernie Sanders, like you're right, really should have showed up and made a vote there. And it's one of the things. I remember when Bernie Sanders was running for president, and I'm on his Senate account right now, and you don't really see anything on his Senate account about the bill. He actually didn't tweet for about a few days there, and then he did come back. Nothing about the bill. Anyway, though, here's what I want to talk about this, is Bernie Sanders was criticized by Hillary Clinton, of all people. But I remember Hillary Clinton said something, which hey, sometimes haters, they got some stuff right. She said that on Capitol Hill, right around Bernie is, he doesn't really do anything. He doesn't make alliances. He doesn't show up and vote. You can ignore him. He's not going to help you. Tell you what, it doesn't help get rid of that, what's the word I'm looking for? That mark on Bernie.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't help Bernie get past people saying, why bother working with him? And any of the progressives, by the way, they're not going to show up and vote. They're not going to do anything. You want a great microcosm of Bernie Sanders style progressives not showing up to vote? How about this missing by one vote because Bernie Sanders himself didn't show up to vote? How about that? Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, again, every
He
single
come-
one
and
of
the-
these 37 names in the nay category really, really should be kind of embarrassed. and
Well, the
ashamed.
irony,
especially
too.
especially the Tim Kaines, the Dianne Feinsteins, the Marco Rubios. Who are these people doing? Seriously.
Dude, the irony, though, of Bernie Sanders complaining that young people didn't show up to vote for him, creating his abysmal defeats, and then something that disproportionately affects young people, like internet browsing history, him not showing up to vote for them, that is hilarious.
Well, I don't think Bernie's for the young people, but just there is a notion around just American politics. Mainstream Democrat types do not think it's worth playing ball with progressives because they don't do anything. They get nothing accomplished. They get nothing done. So, like, the mainstream people are like, the hell with them. Now, Bernie Sanders, you want to talk about irony? Ironically enough, Bernie Sanders yesterday was issuing out what him and Joe Biden were going to be doing together in their unity thing. I mean, by the way, we'll go through some of the names in the unity task force, but it's just on the morning when Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden are by the way, why does Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, like, okay, I didn't know Bernie Sanders was part of the Biden campaign because he is. They're going to roll out the recommendations to the DNC Platform Committee. I got a great recommendation to the DNC Platform Committee. Why don't you tell, I don't know, just pick one. Why don't you tell let's start with the big one. How about Tim Kaine? He's going to be VP. Why doesn't he come up, jump, and vote to protect internet history? Is that a good recommendation for the DNC, maybe? How about, I don't know, Manchin over out of West Virginia? Why didn't he show up and vote? Why wasn't he just vote no? Yes. Why isn't he? Why was no one recommending to the DNC? Because, by the way, you could say Republicans are in the the House. You could see there was enough Republican votes where it was going to take a Democrat of the 10 who voted against it. The 10. By the way, one of the Republicans, Alexander, was going to vote yes. He said he couldn't because he was quarantined. I mean, there's 10 people in that party who voted against this bill. And again, these Republicans, some of these people, that's why I'll always clown them. Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham. What a couple of buffoons they are, man. They're just stooges. Like, anytime that's Tom Cotton over there, anytime you ever hear any of these Republican senators bitch and moan about what happened with Trump and the spying, remember when they showed up and literally in a bill that a Republican defended as getting rid of these mechanisms that allow the spying to happen, they show up and vote nay. 20 of them. 27 of them. Show up and vote against it. Think about that. Next time any of these phonies try to go on TV, tell you they care about any of this. When it came to protecting us, you, whoever's watching this, and your browser history from being shared with the government, couldn't be bothered. Nope. Some people like Bernie literally couldn't bother to show up. But again, you have 27 Republicans all day pounding desks
There's my boy,
about
Ron
the
Paul.
spying they did on us, yada, yada, yada. Cool. Want to stop it? Nope. Even Tim Kaine.
Jeez.
Even one of our own California reps, Dianne Feinstein.
I gotta tell you, my respect for
Crazy.
Kamala Harris. My respect for Kamala Harris goes up. Feinstein disappointed us, but the cop, Kamala, the cop who would keep you in jail instead of being at home with your children to go fight wildfires, even said, "Yeah, it's probably a good idea."
How
to get rid of
often
this.
do Josh Hawley and Kamala Harris vote on the same side of a bill? Right? Actually, they might be playing a war hockey, but still, like you grab Michael Bennett voted yes. Go Michael Bennett, Colorado.
This is why the media keeps trying to make it so that we end up just focusing on arguing about social issues all the time. And this is why when Jesse Ventura says these titles are all just made up by the media in order to divide the revolutionaries, this is why. Because as we're clowning around talking about the C virus, and as we're clowning around talking about all these other stupid fake issues, the government is literally revoting to spy on us in the most complete way possible. I mean, I think you could tell more about a person from their internet search history than you probably could even from the content of their phone calls. You know what I'm saying? You probably can know more about somebody with 15 pages of internet browsing history and timestamps and websites than you could off 15 minutes of listening in on their phone calls.
Oh, yeah.
The most complete spying you can do is internet-based.
We want something interesting, actually.
Okay.
Speaking of before, I pulled up Vox and some reporting on this, I think through Recode. But they actually sat down with...
Vox did something right. Good for them.
They do good reporting. Sometimes
Every once in a while,
they draw weird conclusions sometimes. But What was really interesting is that Ron Wyden, who co-sponsored the bill, actually had this to say. He said, there is little information that is more personal than your web-browsing history. If you know that a person is visiting the website of a mental health professional or a substance abuse support group or a particular political organization or a particular dating site, you know a tremendous amount of private and personal information about that individual. Getting access to somebody's web history is almost like spying on their thoughts, which is great. Now imagine that. These phony conservatives, that sounds like something conservatives bitch and complain about every single day. Government spying on our thoughts, government being up on our business. Cool. Want to vote against it? Nah, not really. 27 of us, nah.
I'll tell you right now, Romney forever cannot claim limited government as part of his platform. Marco Rubio can no longer complain limited government and civil. See, my thing is, more than any party affiliation, I am a civil rights guy. Okay? Those civil rights are what made America beautiful from the very beginning, was saying the individual citizen has rights, will be ruled by a president, not a king, and the government is subject to these same laws and these same civil rights parameters as the individual citizenry is, okay? If you study government, that was basically why the Magna Carta, okay, was considered such a revolutionary document, because it said the king no longer has arbitrary rules but is subject to the same laws as the people, basically. At which point the king teamed up with the Pope and ended up slaughtering everybody that signed the Magna Carta as punishment. You know what I'm saying? But either way, this really cuts to the core of what is America. We were different because our government wasn't allowed to just march in with the thought police and go 1984 on us. That's why we have always been different. And the Patriot Act, I have kicked and screamed since it was passed, saying that it is one of the most wildly un-American pieces of legislation that we have ever passed. And right now, every Democrat that voted for that is full of garbage, because anybody saying that the Bush era was destructive, that Bush lied, people died, that,
yes, let's start repealing the Patriot Act right here. Let's do it. Nope.
Yeah. Every one of those Democrats is full of crap. And every one of those Republicans that has ever claimed to want limited government, to want lower taxes. Let me tell you, get rid of internet spying, you save a lot of money on taxes. Get rid of internet spying, you limit the government.
What about the ones that are today complaining about FISA warrants and the abuse?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, exactly.
We want to get rid of that. Not today. Not on my watch. What?
You can't complain about the spying on Trump if you're not willing to get rid of the spying mechanism.
And I only bring it up because that was literally on the floor. What was being argued by the person who co-sponsored the bill was he was saying that what they did to Trump was so wrong and immoral. We have to make sure this can never happen again. What do these people do? This is the last thing I'm going to say on this.
Yeah.
These people in the government, why I say these people, government people, elected representatives. How could you look at this vote and not say, what a bunch of phonies, man? What a bunch of liars. This makes no sense. Like, seriously, if I told you that Dianne Feinstein, Tim Kaine, and one of the name on there I saw, I think it's Joe Manchin, I think is his name. All of them voted to extend Patriot Act spying provisions. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that? And then if I told you that Marco Rubio and Mitt Romney, but if you told me that Lindsey Graham, Marco Rubio, and Mitch McConnell and Tom Cotton all voted to continue the system that was abused to spy on their boy Trump, like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And normally I would say, well, what's in the bill, right? Like you would say, it's a 5,000-page bill, all kind of. No, it's like a two-sentence bill. It just says, not even a bill, it's an amendment. It's just that part that says they can do this without a warrant, get rid of it. Now they need a warrant. Basically what it says. And nope, can't be done.
So what's the thumbnail of this going to be? They all lied?
Here's the biggest thing to me is when these people in the government, Senate and the House, whatever, they tell you they want to get something done, when they go on TV and tell you what they allegedly care about, look at their votes. Look at them closer. Because this is what it looks like normally. You'll see Bernie Sanders, there he is, old Bernie ball showing up, validating every criticism anybody levies against Bernie in Capitol Hill, which is that can't work with him, no point, doesn't show up, gets nothing done. What do you know? Could have used that vote, Bernie. And then once again, all the nays. Why? And I think the good thing is, look at the people who voted to get rid of this. Because there's some things, I don't know why they're voting on them. This one sounds pretty black and white.
Yeah.
It's to remove Patriot Act overreaching. So remember names like that too. Both Republican and Democrat, right? Remember that you did see. Like you said, I remember Kamala Harris for whatever reason voted against this, or being voted to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Warren, good on them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And again, Josh Hawley, Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker. Forgot her name, Loeffler. By the way, I think I saw a great comment on this. Someone's like, how would Bernie on the wrong side of a vote that even the insider trading girl got right? Remember Loeffler?
Oh, dude, that's true.
Yeah, she was like busted for insider trading.
Oh,
coronavirus.
yeah.
Even she voted to get rid of it. It's just absolutely insanity. I don't want to go on too much longer, but it's when we vote for these people and we elect them, they go off to the Senate, they go off to the House. A lot of times people just, hey, they're probably looking out in our best interest. They're probably, and
there's
a
a trust factor. Yeah.
We hear about bills that pass or don't pass with normally, it's like 6-1, right? Like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, the bill passed unanimously. And we talked about this yesterday. A big part is a lot of times a bill is going to pass or not before it's even written. Like, who's in Senate with you and you talk.
Yeah.
But to see something like this fall short by one vote with
Yeah.
somebody in quarantine, 2 people just not even bothering to tell us where they were, and a bunch of question marks in the nays. It's really one of those, I like moments like this. Just remember that, we have to hold these people accountable. Republicans who think that Marco Rubio and Lindsey Graham are looking out for them and trying to protect them from government spying. Remember, no, they're not. They don't care. Democrats who think they're trying to take away the overreach of the previous administration. Oh, Dianne Feinstein has been there for, the reason why I bring her name up, she's been there forever, man. How long has she been in Senate representing California? I remember I used to talk to somebody. I said, why are you voting big time? And they said, I will vote against Dianne Feinstein. I don't even care who's running. I'll vote against her every election until she loses. Like, not the most popular person ever. Still, been around a few times. What is she doing voting against this? I mean, it's funny though. All I'm saying is this: we have our preconceived notions based on the parties and politics and what we think the partisan lines are on an issue. Sometimes you look at the votes, you look at how they talk, and you realize, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. People that all day complain about abuses and spying, given a chance to remove abuses and spying, not having it.
Yeah.
People all day complain about the Patriot Act and yada, yada, yada. Oh, want to get rid of it? Nope.
Yeah. So here's my question. What's the thumbnail going to be? They all lied?
I don't know. We'll find out.
They all lied. Anyway, please let us know if you have any inside information about this or if there's any way that this affects you. Please comment below. If you haven't had a chance to like this video yet, please like it and follow us on Twitter at PSP Radio 1. This is Problem Solver Politics. We'll see you guys in the next video.